I have a question about discussion. This is the home to our web page for the class. So you can see Math 03072L, that's class. This is discussion, and I am answering discussion question for week 7, number 2, this word problem number 4. Alright, so let's go to my Paint program. There it is. Alright, so what they're asking is, it takes 4/5 pound of salt to fill a large salt shaker. So you want to take that piece of information and underline it. So 4/5 of a pound of salt to fill a salt shaker. Well, what that means, to get a visual of what they're talking about, is basically it's enough salt, you know, a pile of salt, but it's more than a pile. It's enough salt to fill a salt shaker. It's 4/5 pound. The abbreviation for pound is LB. So this little bunch of salt represents 4/5 pound. And what they're telling you, it fills a salt shaker, a large salt shaker. And this 4/5 pound goes in that salt shaker. Okay. So then the next part of the problem is, how many salt shakers can be filled with 32 pounds of salt? And then now we have this big bag of 32 pounds, which, you know, if you have like a bag, if this is a bag of some kind, and you have salt in there, okay, representation, and it is 32 pounds. What they're asking you, how many salt shakers can be filled with all of this salt? Well, if you know that this little amount goes into one salt shaker, what you're doing then is you're pouring salt into a salt shaker from the big bag, however many times it takes until you've run out of salt. So what you're trying to sort out is how many chunks or amounts of this will come out of this bag. How many times will it come out? So it's a division problem, although I am saying times, but it's a division problem because you're sorting out how many of these are in the bag. Does this bag divides into how many piles of this salt? Maybe that's a better way to put it. This bag of salt divides into how many piles, because every time you pour enough to fit in this shaker, you're pouring out that amount. I'm saying it a lot of different ways so that it helps you find a way that helps you understand the problem. This isn't easy without getting direct feedback from people. So let's jumping ahead here.
Oh my God.
So we're not done setting up the division problem. It's 32 divided by 4/5. You're deciding how many of those 4/5 amounts, those little piles, are in that bag. That bag divides up into how many of those piles. Okay, so now it's just division. For this whole number, you have to put it over 1. And then, of course, it's division with fractions. I'm following the rules for that division. You change the sign to multiplication, and you change this fraction here to the reciprocal, and then you want to cross cancel. Divide by 4 to get 1. That changes that to a 1. Divide by 4 to get an 8. So now you're multiplying 8 times 5 for the numerator, which is 40, and the denominator is 1 times 1, which is 1. So you have ultimately 40 salt shakers that are filled with a 32-pound bag of salt. Salt shakers. Your answer.